There's a new epidemic going on, particularly in the UK, and it's not related to COVID. What is it? It's drink spiking. The disturbing thing is that men seem to think that this practice is some kind of joke. It isn't, and it has serious consequences. The Devon and Cornwall police have released this video about drink spiking.
This is a public awareness video about the ongoing epidemic that is drink spiking. Drink spiking can and does happen anywhere to anyone and at any time.
It was the middle of the day and I asked for a soft drink, and that is where I got drink spiked when I was only a teenager. Immediately my head was spinning. I knew that I'd been drugged. I knew that something else was in my soft drink.
Really sweating, was hot, was vomiting, couldn't stand up, and I kind of went from being absolutely normal, happy, fine, to 20 minutes later just not being able to be conscious.
If I saw someone that came into my venue, it was perfectly fine, and then 20 minutes later couldn't walk or talk, then I'd be questioning who they'd been with before they came to us, and then getting onto the ambulance service to get them here as quick as possible.
So it was a week after my 18th birthday that I ended up getting my drink spiked. Halfway through it, I started just feeling really funny and just not any feeling I'd ever felt before in my life. And I had wet myself on the seat.
When you get spiked, you lose your inhibitions and can struggle to breathe. If you've only had a little to drink and you're feeling paranoid and experiencing visual problems, you need to speak to a trusted friend or member of staff immediately.
One of the girls before the train shocked over, just drank the shot. Within 15-20 minutes, my face started going numb, my hands started tingling, I was slurring my words. At the time, I just thought, wow, that shot was strong. But then I slowly started to realise something was put in my drink.
I'm Jim Campbell. I'm a forensic scientist and toxicologist. I've realised that there are a lot of different drugs used in drink spiking, and it's critical to get analysis and testing done as soon as possible to secure evidence, because these drugs leave the body very quickly.
Spiking is frequently done through distraction, and perpetrators often work in teams.
I didn't know what the hell was happening. Like I sort of hallucinating. I couldn't even swallow my own saliva. I was literally dribbling. That's why advice to men really is, it can happen to you.
It was almost like 0 to 100 within 10 seconds. From then on, I can't remember anything at all.
If you think you've been spiked, it is essential that you find a trusted friend or member of staff and tell them immediately. Do not leave the venue with anyone that you don't know or trust. Get your drink tested and make sure you report it to the police. Know the symptoms: blurred vision, dizziness, and confusion. Act with speed. You only have a small window before the drugs take effect, and the drugs can leave your system in as quickly as 6 hours. Get tested to secure the evidence. Safeguard yourself. Find a trusted friend, inform the bar and security staff, and report it to the police.
The Conservative MP James Daly asked the witnesses if they thought spiking was the most widespread criminal repeated act at this moment in time in this country. Both Connie Bear and Dines said it was. Zara Owen, the 20-year-old student at Nottingham University, told the committee how she was injected with drugs while at a nightclub last year. I woke up with a really sharp, agonizing pain in my leg, which left me limping. The fact that someone has injected a narcotic into my body without me being aware is terrifying. The former Children's Minister, Tim Loughton, praised Owen for speaking about the problem. He said, "When I was at school, this is what happened to Bulgarian secret agents or in James Bond movies." Alexei Skitinas told MPs he had severe kidney problems after having his drink spiked at a club in Las Vegas. Skitinas from South Wales said, 3 days later I ended up in hospital. Obviously, it was a very scary time. I want to make people aware of this. I know the majority of people who are spiked are female, but anyone can be spiked at any time. I didn't touch alcohol for nearly 2 years after. This is from an article in The Guardian. A person's drink can be spiked to make them more vulnerable for a variety of motives, including theft or sexual assault. Drink spiking is a criminal offence subject to a prison sentence. The Home Affairs Select Committee was told that up to 15% of women and 7% of men have been spiked with alcohol or drugs. Hannah Stratton, a 51-year-old from Cornwall, told the committee that she was violently ill when her drink was drugged at a quiet bar in Newquay. She also revealed that her 2 daughters had suffered the same fate and told MPs, "Now the conversation seems to not be, has anyone been drugged this weekend? It's who has been drugged this weekend. It's become so commonplace." When Stratton blogged about her experience, she said she was contacted by 100 people who said the same thing had happened to them, the committee heard. Helena Conybeare, the chief executive of the Alcohol Education Trust, said its survey of 747 people found that 94 had been spiked, with a prevalence of 15% among females and 7% among males. Shockingly, only 8% of those who'd been spiked reported it to the police or to a medic, she said. She pointed out that a separate study of 23,000 students from 19 universities showed that 11% of them had been spiked. The penalty for drink spiking in the UK. Drinks spiked with alcohol or drugs can make a person seriously vulnerable. Drink spiking is illegal, whether or not an attack or assault has been carried out. It can result in a maximum punishment of 10 years in prison for anyone who is found guilty of doing it. If an assault, rape, or robbery has taken place, the sentence will be higher. If your drink has been spiked, go to the police, get tested, and make sure that they do the proper investigations. Don't let people get away with this. Drink spiking is not a game. Recreational drugs like ecstasy, lysergic acid, LSD, ketamine, and other party drugs are sometimes used to spike alcoholic drinks. But mixing alcohol and stimulus can be incredibly dangerous and can cause serious medical problems ranging from nausea to coma and even sometimes death. It's not a game. What should you do if you were spiked? Act with speed. Get tested at a police station immediately and let the police do their investigations and catch and convict the perpetrators. Don't wait to get tested. Try and get to the police station as soon as possible after feeling ill, so that they can test you and they can use the test to convict the criminals. Don't leave the venue with someone you don't know or trust. You could be robbed or raped. If you suspect that your date has spiked your drink, definitely don't leave with them. If you suspect the bartender has spiked your drink, make sure you report this to management. Symptoms of drink spiking. Lowered inhibitions. You may do things you didn't want to do because you were drugged. Loss of balance. You might feel dizzy. Sleepiness. Visual problems. Confusion. Nausea. Vomiting. Unconsciousness. What should you do if you are drugged? If you or a friend start to feel strange or more drunk than you should be, then you should get help straight away. Report it to the door staff or bar staff. If you suspect that the bar staff are the ones that drugged you, go and report it to management or get to a police station. Tell someone you trust, such as a friend. If you are alone, ask the pub landlord or bar manager to call a trusted friend for you. Your friend or someone you trust should take you to the nearest accident and emergency department and tell the medical staff your drink may have been spiked. Report it to the police as soon as you can. They may need to take blood and urine samples. Most drugs leave the body within 72 hours of being taken, but some can be gone in 12 hours. So it's incredibly important that you get tested as soon as is humanly possible. Do not leave the bar with a stranger or with your date if you are on a date, as he may have spiked your drink. Also, as I've mentioned, be wary because it's possible that maybe your bartender has spiked your drink. Criminal sentences for possession of spiking drugs. From April 2022, people that are found in unlawful possession of drink spiking drugs face sentences of up to 5 years behind bars. GHB, a drug that is used to spike drinks, has been classified as a Class B drug, along with 2 related substances, GBL and 1.4-BD, meaning that those found in possession of these drugs will face tough penalties. From today, those found in unlawful possession of these drugs face sentences of up to 5 years in prison, while those involved in supply and production will face up to 14 years in prison. GHB, GBL, and 1.4-BD have been found to facilitate serious crimes, including murder, rape, sexual assault, and robbery. These tougher sentences recognize the harm these drugs do and are expected to deter possession and supply, so that the public are better protected from criminals. Most spiking substances are colorless, odorless, and tasteless. It can also be hard to see if your drink is dark or the room is dark. The following are some signs of drink spiking to look out for: excessive bubbles, a foggy appearance, a salty or bitter taste, sinking ice, or a change in the color of your drink. Here are some police articles and Sky News article about perpetrators of drink spiking that were found and sentenced to prison. This bodes well for stopping this practice. The Hampshire police have published something to warn about drink spiking. Drink spiking can happen to any type of drink, whether alcoholic or non-alcoholic. The effects can be unpredictable but are likely to be more serious if someone who's had their drink spike has also consumed more alcohol or other drugs. This is because of the combination of effects from the different drugs working at the same time. Again, take action, report the crime at your nearest police station, and if you have been robbed or sexually assaulted, report that as well. People can be killed or become comatose from having their drink spiked. If you kill someone after spiking their drink, it's a murder charge. If they land up in a coma or having serious health issues, it's an attempted murder charge. This article in the Wales Online shows an article about a lady called Rhiannon Smith from Rhyl, who drank 3 single vodka Red Bulls at Alpine Lodge in Ormskirk, Lancashire, when suddenly her hearing became muffled and the room began to spin. When the 19-year-old was taken home by friends, she claims they saw her lips were blue. Her pulse had stopped and she was only taking breaths every 20 seconds, so they called 999. Emergency responders ordered them to start life-saving chest compressions, which they did for 20 minutes before she was rushed to hospital by ambulance. She could have died. If you believe that your drink was spiked or that you've been drugged, go to your nearest police station and report the crime. The police will do the necessary tests and trace the person who spiked your drink or drugged you. Don't wait. Just for information, my drink was spiked a year ago when I went out to a pub. Fortunately, my sixth sense told me something was wrong, even though I hadn't really felt the effects of the drug as yet. I went home, and within 10 minutes of getting home, I began feeling dizzy, nauseous, and just not myself, and I knew that I had been drugged. I went to the hospital to get tested, but what I should have done is I should have gone to the police, except for the fact that I was feeling awful and I wasn't in a state to drive. Don't be like me, get to the police and report the drink spiking.